So it says find two numbers whose sum is 10. So that means that our equation is x plus y equals 10. So I need to find two numbers whose sum is 10, for which the sum of their squares is a minimum. So then we also have x squared plus y squared equals some number that we don't know, but the number that we don't know, we need to be a min. So we need our function that we are minimizing to be in terms of one variable. So what I'm going to do is take the function that has a number and solve for a variable. So those of you that did it, did you solve for x or solve for y?
I didn't know what to do.
I think I solved for x. But
I set x squared. I took the derivative of x squared plus y squared.
So the problem with that is now you have, that's an implicit problem because you'd have had 2x dx dx plus 2y dy dx.
And then I set that equals 0 and all that stuff and got x over y.
Right, so now what do you do with that? Right, so instead of doing that, because you didn't have two variables, what you wanted, or because you had two variables, what you wanted to do is get it out of two variables. So you took the equation that had x and y with a number and said, okay, x equals 10 minus y. So we're going to replace x with 10 minus y so that I have a quadratic system in terms of y. You want to open windows? It got warm. I thought you were opening a window. It got warm. So now you substitute x with 10 minus y, and then you have 100 minus 20y plus y squared equals s.
I had all this, I just didn't know what to do then.
Why is it 21?
FOIL, 10 times 10.
Yes.
So the properties of derivatives say you can combine like terms, so that's 2y squared, right? Take your derivative to find the minimum of that sum. So derivative of 100 is 0. Derivative of negative 20y is negative 20. Derivative of 2y squared is 4y equal to s prime. To find the min or max, we set that equal to 0. And then,
5.
yeah. That represents the y value. The x value is equal to 10 minus 5. So the x value is also 5. And again, that should kind of make sense. Because when we talked earlier, I said like squares are going to give you like the max or min areas. So a lot of times these shapes end up being very, very close. Better?
I just don't get like whenever, like honestly, like how would this be different if we were saying we were finding math? Wouldn't it be different? We still find the derivative.
So the only difference is that this problem doesn't have a max. Because if you think about this function, x squared plus y squared is getting infinitely larger. So you can't, it's not going to have a max because it's increasing infinitely in a way. And you could check that it's a min using like our old school min stuff. So that 5 is your critical number. So you want to see what's happening to the left or to the right of 5. So if you plugged in 1, negative 20 plus 4 is negative. If you plugged in 10, negative 20 plus 40 is positive. So you can see that it's going from decreasing to increasing. So that means that there's nothing smaller to like the left or right.
But the setup is still the same for the max. Okay,
Yes.
that's what I was.
Yeah. And It's just if a problem has more than one critical point, then you have to do your number line to see which critical point is which. You said 5?
I just don't understand how to get the solve for the max in 5, because the derivative is negative 2.
You lost the 100.
What 100?
I mean 500, sorry.
Yeah, but the derivative is still negative 2.
Yeah.
No,
How?
because you had to multiply the weight of the fish times the number of fish.
Yeah, I did that.
That would make your equation 500n minus 2n squared, which makes your derivative 500 minus 4n. Do you see what I'm saying? You just took the derivative of 500 minus 2n and got the negative 2. But that was like the secondary equation. You had to take n times wn to get total weight. Did everybody else follow that? Or have that?
I didn't do that.
So it says like a fish biologist is stocking the fish in the lake. She knows that when there are n fish per unit of water, the average weight of each fish is represented by Wn. It says,
I did that process, but I didn't actually make that equation and take the derivative of it. I just filled in the chart. And then I just split 250 and got that it was 30,000. And I was like, oh, that's bigger than 20,000.
so like I got you. It was the answer is 31,250. All right, so the weight of each fish is represented by Wn because the average is this. So then if you wanted to know the total weight and an area, total weight was equal to the number of fish times the average weight per fish. And then it says, what is the value of n that will maximize the total fish weight? So we want to maximize total weight. So total weight is 500n minus 2n squared. So then that's 500 minus 4n. So to maximize total weight, you said 0 equals 500 minus 4n, or 4n equals 500. Therefore, when there are 125 fish, the weight will be maximized. If you think about the formula 500 minus 2n, so you had 500 equals 2n divided by 2, you got 250.
That's not even what I did. I just filled in the chart. I just started plugging in numbers between 250. And by numbers, I mean 100. And stuff. I got
Alright.
number 6 right there.
Better? Yeah. Perfect. Then 9.
That's the same one though. Like I understood what to do. I just didn't know how to get the max.
So it says a wire 24 inches long is cut into 2 pieces as shown in the figure below. One piece is to make a square, the other piece is to make a circle. Let X be the point where the cut is made. Assume that the square uses the left piece and the circle uses the right piece. Complete the chart and find location of the cut where the total area enclosed by the square and circle is a maximum. So basically what you had to do was set up an area equation. So you had the area of the square plus the area of the circle, because that's what we are trying to maximize, the total area.
See, I separated them. I just found the area of the square when x equals 4, and then the area of the circle when x was 24.
So how did you get rid of both variables? Because now I have, right now I have an S and an R.
Because I didn't have an equation. I just plugged in x equals 4. I did that. I was like, all right, that's the perimeter of the square, so that would make each side 1, so the area would be 1. X equals 8, the perimeter would be 8. That's 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 9, 25. And then
So what'd you get for your answer?
1, or x equals 4, because that was my biggest x value.
Okay.
And then for the area of the circle, when
So that's fine. You're supposed to use the x equals 4.
it was 4, the area of or I did the circle was then 20. So then I plugged that into the circumference to get the diameter. So I did diameter. I used 20 as the circumference. Diameter equals circumference over pi, and then I cut that in half, squared it, and multiplied it by pi, and
So
got the area.
take everything.
That's what I did, but I thought it was.
No, that's all right. So take everything you did now and turn it into an equation. So you have equation 1, which is s squared plus pi r squared. So now what you need to do is take the idea of s and r and get them in terms of x using the wire. Because we need one variable, we need x to be in there.
X and 24 minus x.
Close. So x divided by 4 because s is the length of the side, and there are 4.
I just did that after. That was like,
yeah.
I just have x, and then I did it to the side. Okay.
So like the square has 4 sides, and they told us that s represented the sides. So you would have to take the length you use for the square, which is length x, and divide it by 4 because there are 4 sides. And then if you think of circumference equals 2 pi r. So what you had to do is say, okay, the radius for the circumference is the 24 minus x. Because if the entire length of the wire is 24 and we use x inches of the wire for the square, then the radius is going to be, or the circumference is going to be 24 minus x.
Yeah.
And then use that to work backwards to solve for r. So this would be 24 minus x equals 2 pi r. Therefore, r is 24 minus x over 2 pi. So you had it, you just had to add back in tiny pieces. Now you're going to take
the derivative.
Yeah, you're going to take this piece and replace it for r. You're going to take this piece and replace it for s. And then you're going to take that and find its derivative, because that will give you the maximized area using a 24-inch wire. Because that wire had to be cut to make both the square and the circle, and that's the circumference, aka a perimeter of a circle, and the perimeter of the square using one variable.
So what's the answer?
X equals 192 divided by 8 plus 2 pi, which is approximately well, I left it as 12 over 5. But it's like,
So 192 over 8 is like. I meant third. It's like almost.
so x squared over 16 plus pi over 4 pi squared times 24 minus x squared. So you can cancel out a pi. And then 24 minus x squared. Personally,
Big number.
I'm doing product roll on that one, as opposed to foiling it now, because derivative of x is -1. So like sometimes a product roll, I'm doing the chain roll. Sometimes the chain roll is better than foiling because it helps keep my numbers small. So taking my derivative, a prime equals 2x over 16 plus 2 24 minus x times -1 all over 4 pi. I don't have to worry about the denominator in that case because it's constant. So it's kind of like a fraction up top. 2 over 16 reduces to 1/8 x. 2 over 4 becomes a half. So you have minus. I'm going to distribute it now. I'm running out of board. So negative 1 times 24 gives you negative 24. Negative 1 times x gives you positive x over 2 pi. And then you could multiply and get a common denominator. So times 4 on one side and times pi on the other. You really could have distributed it out too. It didn't matter. Because the bottom's never going to equal 0. I guess multiplying it was kind of dumb. I'm so used to a variable down there. So when does that equal 0?
When pi x plus 4x equals 96.
Yeah. Which is like my a plus 2. Like I'll divide it out because they're evens. Yep. I like 10.
I got it wrong.
10 is a Norman window.
Yeah, I got a negative number.
This was actually in the when I tutored the Buffalo Park kid, he had a Norman window in his homework too. And I was like, hey, that's in my homework. But our numbers weren't the same.
Man, he's integrating it. We're not.
No. We did optimization. Like
Yeah, but
2 weeks ago. Like I tutored him.
Oh.
I've tutored him more than one time.
uh,
And like he didn't understand optimization. So like we met on a Sunday, we tutored, and then he took a test on Tuesday. He's a freshman, right? Got 100 on his optimization.
maybe they
Mom
just,
said it was the first 100 he's gotten all year. And I was like, you're welcome.
yeah, if any, I mean, none of us have even come close to getting a 100.
But not even pay for a tutor either, right?
I don't care. I would still not want to get 100. Jeez, and 100, I haven't gotten 100 in math class since like stats.
Gordon.
Yeah,
She
you
doesn't
didn't get one
count.
in. You didn't get one in Miss Gordon.
No, that doesn't count. That wasn't a math class. That was a nap time.
2 people, guys. It took 2
Yeah, watch.
Looked over
You're recording.
occasionally.
Okay, a designer of custom windows wishes to build a Norman window with a total outside perimeter of 60 feet. Outside perimeter. So do you know what a Norman window looks like? It's like a semicircle,
Yeah,
I
it's a
have
picture.
one
There's a
in my
picture.
house.
and then this.
Go measure it. And find this.
So you have the Norman window. What is the outside perimeter? Well, the part of the perimeter that does not count. So the outside perimeter is down, across, up,
And 1/2 C.
and the semicircle. It is not the length within the middle. So the radius of the semicircle is half the bottom of the window.
Well, that's why you just use diameter is equal to x.
I did.
That's what I did.
I called this X. I called this Y. And then I said my radius was half of X.
Yeah, just the d equals x.
Yeah.
And I got a negative
Well,
number, so.
Yeah. So then I said, okay, perimeter is equal to 2y plus x plus circumference, which is
So
One
it'd just be
IR.
pi r.
2
1/2
pi r. So
circumference.
2 times a half became pi r or pi x. Yeah.
How can it be pi x?
Because our r is 1/2 x.
Yeah, so my question is,
Why
that's
wouldn't
the
it be 1/4?
circumference formula. What are you going to do about the fact that it's only half a circle?
Yeah. Circumference equals 2 pi r. And in this case, circumference equals 2 pi 1/2 x. We have to divide it by half again. I was getting there.
Just making sure.
Thank you for
You know,
So,
why
semi
I have this.
Did you get through?
is
No.
pi x over 2. So now perimeter is 60. So this is 60 equals 2y plus x plus pi halves x. But we have two variables. So we need a second equation to help get rid of the variables. So it says a window should be designed to maximize the area of the window. So I want my window to be as large as possible given that perimeter.
This is where it all went wrong.
So you would do xy plus pi
So-
r squared and plug in that r.
Exactly. So area is xy. Area of a circle is pi r squared divided by 2 because it's half a circle. My r is equal to 1/2 x. So instead of r squared, it's 1/2 x squared. That still leaves me with x and y, x and y. So you're going to use the perimeter to solve. And honestly, I'm solving for y. It's going to be a heck of a lot easier than solving for x.
Right.
So simplifying and getting all of that taken care of using perimeter, and I'm just going to write this so I can erase it because I'm running out of board. We have 2y equals 60 minus x minus
Pi halves x.
got to get rid of the 2, so you multiply everything by a half. So y, half of 60 is times 1/2 x minus pi 4th x. We're going to take that and plug it into area. And because I have no board space, I'm going to also, when I take it and plug it in, distribute the x on my area all in one step. So like all of these are just going to multiply by x because of this x. So it's 30x minus 1/2 x squared minus pi 4th x squared
No, just never mind.
plus pi and a half. So if you distribute that squared, that became 1/4 x squared. So you have pi x squared over 4 over 2.
So just be over 8.
Exactly, because you would multiply by half. So this is going to be plus. Make sure my x's are good. I'm up here. We're going to get plus pi x squared over 8. You could combine the pi x squareds right now if you wanted, because technically this is like minus 2 pi x squared over 8.
Wait, I'm confused on why it's 8. When did we? Where is that?
I took this and multiplied it all out. Because it's 1/2 x squared. So 1/2 x squared became 1/4 x squared, or 1/2 x squared became 1/4 x squared. And then divided by 2, so 1/4 divided by 2 is 8. And then I said, okay, this is like pi halves, or pi fourths times 2 gave you 2 pi eighths. So these became like terms. So negative 2 pi eighths plus pi eighths, maybe negative pi eighths.
X squared.
Thank you. This needs to erase those terms. Derivative of 30x is 30. Derivative of 1/2 x squared is negative x. Integrative of negative pi halves x squared over 8 is pi fourths.
You can do that. That's the
I mean, I'm not sure I wrote. I can't. Don't get off the top of my head. I just think, I mean, this is a calculator question. So, like, once you would get to, like, this point, even right here, like, you're going to the calculator. Because you're not going to get an answer that's nice.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to now go to your calculator.
But it was getting to this point that was hard.
I got the perimeter part.
I got the 60 equals 2y plus x plus
the
pi,
area part
pi x
was where
over 4.
things fell
I
apart.
just didn't think to put it in terms of y, and then because I had the area equation too.
I forgot about the talking about area.
Oh, you mean the entire part of the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Oh, from his hand on candy cane. They should have went up there. Should have went in that way.
Mr. McNow brain.
Yeah. It's freezing out there.
I like
So do I.
His brother lives directly across the street from me.
Is he the one that owns all the dogs?
No. He has a German Shepherd and just likes to walk in our house sometimes.
All right.
Fair
So,
enough.
x value. Is Nico's calculator? That's like super weird. What's the figure? Where's my graph? And like the y equals area has like weird things. He has it in transformation graphing app. So he probably tried to run some program. So now I have to like, this is a transformation graph. Anybody know?
Whose is that?
It's my calculator, but Nico's. Or not 3 lines. All right. Any other questions on that packet?
Are 12 and 13 a distance formula?
I did it for 13, not 12.
I did it for 12.
Well, I just did Pythagorean's theorem.
Same thing. Pythagorean theorem is the distance
Well, I
formula.
still got the answer wrong. I got 7.22. It was like 7.4.
So probably a calculator error. Like you probably rounded too early somewhere else. Like that's what it means.
Did you do 15?
I got the x equals 50 for number 11, but I didn't get the diameter part of it.
Oh, I like 16.
I don't.
Alright. Yeah, it says a
Corey's not getting the
rectangular
bonus points.
area is to be fenced in using.
Corey's not getting bonus points. He didn't do the whole packet.
Using two types of fencing. The front and back uses fencing costs $5 a foot, while the sides use fencing costing $4 a foot. So you have the length and you have the width, and then you have the cost of the length and the width. So it says if the area of the rectangle must contain 500 square feet, so we know area has to be length times width equal to 500. And then what you need to do is set up a formula using the area and the cost. So the cost is equal to the front and back that uses $5 a foot. So we're going to say that that's X. So it's $5 times 2X because you have material on the front and on the back. And I went from L's and W's to X and Y's because I kind of hate L and W. And then.
You know what I hate the most? T. Why is T used?
Yeah, that's the one I'll agree with you on.
It's
T's worse than
stupid.
L.
Yeah, L's only bad on this board. Like, I can usually handle an L.
I hate L.
But
You mean T?
Well, I hate both, but T's really bad. T
T
should not
because
be
it
used.
blends in with my plus signs. I don't know what's what.
Right, your handwriting is part of that problem, but I'll give you that the handwriting on the board. I get you. All right, so cost is equal to 10x plus 8y. Area is equal to 500xy. Which one do you want to get rid of, x or y? I'll tell you which one I would get rid of personally.
X. I want to get rid of 500.
You can't. But I would get rid of
get rid of-
x
Yeah.
because 510 is a heck of a lot easier than 508.
Right.
500 times 8 is just 4,000.
Yeah.
Don't care. Just telling you why I would pick what I pick.
I like 4,000 better than 5,000.
What the? Oh, I left my water in there.
So that's like 5,000 y to the negative 1 plus 8y, which means that your cost derivative is equal to negative 5,000 over y squared plus 8. So we need to multiply by y squared on both sides. So you get 8y squared over y squared.
It just tastes like plastic. Sweet it just tastes like plastic.
And then you just solve for your numerator equaling 0. So you have negative 5,000 equals 8y squared. Yep. So then it's 5,000 divided by 8 equals y squared.
It's just 400.
All right, Alex.
It's 20.
25.
Oh, wait,
So-
no, it's not 400. That's not 40, that's 50.
It would have been easier to take.
So it's like-
it would have been easier to solve for y.
It's like 22 and a half or something like that. Square root.
What's
210.
5,008 divided by 2?
5,008?
Yeah,
200.
each divided by 2.
Oh, 8 divided by 2 is
4.
24, yeah.
I got it.
So 25,004 are both
Square root.
perfect squares.
Perfect squares.
Yes.
Take it. It would be
502.
yes. No.
Yes.
Yes. No.
And 5.
It wouldn't be 500.
5 times 5 is 25, Corey.
500
It'd be
times
50,
500.
not 500.
I was gonna say 500 times 500. We really doing this?
Yeah, it's 50.
Okay.
So that you get
It's a Monday.
25.
Oh. I have
Uh,
to say that now.
So y is equal to 25. Therefore, x is equal to 500 divided by 25.
4 times
Um,
5 20.
Thank you. That's one I would definitely anticipate you could do.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see me doing it.
Doing that or doing it wrong.
So then it says, if the area of the rectangle must contain 500 square feet, what should the dimensions of the rectangle be in order to keep the cost to a minimum? So the directions are 25 feet by 20 feet.
Wait, which one are we doing?
16.
You should have seen it though.
So what did you
Tips,
like
I
do the
made
same thing
five- I
but for
made
the cost
six
you
in
just
a row.
plug it
Me and
in?
Ryan
Like
went from
so now you have
If you
One
needed to find
to
the minimum
17.
cost, yes.
in about 10 shots.
You would just plug them back into the original cost function.
No, 6 shots. Not each.
So those dimensions don't minimize the cost because we derived cost and made that the function we minimized. So we didn't minimize area. We actually maximized our area in a way because we knew what the area had to be. So like you have to read like, and then asked for dimensions. So the dimensions are the length times the width. We actually don't need that cost of the fencing. 17 is the same problem, but now it's the reverse. So that's what I was saying, like 16 is like minimizing the cost based on your amount of fencing. 17 is maximizing the area based on the cost. So you're going to take those same two equations in a way. So area is still x times y. Cost is still 5 times 2x plus 4 times 2y. So now, though, the a value is what I'm maximizing. So my substitution is going to come from cost.
It's going to go into A.
So I have $800 here. So we're going to pick a variable to solve for. So if we're
Solve
doing,
for what?
okay.
Wouldn't area still have to be 500 though?
Nope.
It says use the same rectangle.
But now it's what is the largest area because you have more money to spend.
It says the same rectangle area.
Yeah, we're not covering the whole area. It's just a field he's putting a fence in. He's not putting a fence around the whole field.
That's very.
I'm saying you're an idiot.
No, I know what you're saying. But
you're wrong.
Well, Corey, maybe if you would have done the problem.
no, he's not wrong. You could change the wording a little bit.
Exactly.
But I feel like that's half the problem with AP is the wording.
I don't know, I'm just saying.
So this would be 800 minus 10x all over 8 equals y. Yes, you could divide the 800 and the 8 to make that a nicer number. So 800 divided by 8 is 100. And 10 divided by 8 reduces to 5/4 x. So now what we're going to do is take this, plug it in for y here. So area equals 100x minus 5/4 x squared. And then we're deriving that.
100. Minus 10/4 x. Which is also 5 halves.
Solve for x.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Corey.
I got that. Wasn't as fast, but I got that. Second. Take second.
So y is 50, x is 40. So now the maximized area is 40 times 50. So it's 2,000.
The math isn't
feet
very
squared
good. It isn't very good.
It's a Monday.
at a cost of $800. Where in the last example, our cost was $400. But my area
Did you
was
do
a
that
lot
bit?
smaller. It's
No.
500.
You better do it.
It's for completion.
Yeah, but she probably closes it before class period.
Yeah, 2. We study all
I
that.
actually, I
Lunch?
did really bad on that, but that was
How? It
because
didn't even